Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/AskReddit by Reddit Universe. What's the juiciest rumor at your school that turned out to be 100% true? New kid comes to high school. Has a funny accent because his parents were missionaries, traveling all over the world. He was actually kind of cool. Spoke at least 4 different languages: English, Spanish, Russian and Mandarin. He was super polite and everyone liked him. Of course he had haters, mainly the so-called bullies, a concept he never understood. Rumor began that he was well versed in many forms of martial arts. He never denied or admitted to them. One of the bullies decided to find out. He was much bigger than the new kid. New kid did everything in his power to not escalate the fight. Even took a punch from said bully. Well, guess the rumor was true. Not only did the new kid beat his ass, the bully shit himself. Most awesome thing I ever saw in high school. Not only did the kid beat his ass, the bully shit himself. Thank you. This has made it onto my list of favorite things to look at when I am old. Resource officer was a child molester and then murdered his wife after he was fired. He fled and they still haven't found him over 10 years later. He's on Marshall's top 15 most wanted list. His name was Dan Hears and his mother thinks he's dead. The computer tech teacher got caught having sex with a student. He was put on suspension while the investigation was conducted. He killed himself by running his car into a tree. The science teacher was a pedophile. Some kid found Viagra in his desk and he was put in admin leave when they found a used condom in his trash after the search. Then kids came forward. Was not pretty. 2 teachers that were married to each other were sleeping with students. The husband was the first to do it and the wife found out and slept with some of her students as revenge. Also, the resource officer was sleeping with some of the 18-year-old seniors. All got confirmed when they were fired for it. Well, the teachers got fired. The officer got moved to bicycle patrol. The officer got moved to bicycle patrol. I think he's ridden enough. This one girl would make those colorful friendship bracelets made out of needlepoint floss for every guy she gave a BJ to. There were lots of bracelets. Like some kind of club or something. Right? It was pretty funny. The guys didn't start figuring it out until there was quite a large number of handmade bracelets on dudes who wouldn't normally be wearing anything of the sort. Who made you that? Emily. Did you have one? The art teacher was sleeping with both the history teacher and Ray teacher. She was married to the chemistry teacher who she previously had an affair with while married to the woodwork teacher. I believe she married the Ray teacher sometime after I left school. This is better than a Mexican soap opera! Esta noche en la escuela dramática. Teresa, Henrietta, Victoria, Luis, y Miguel aprenden que la autoridad viene del más allá. Rumor had it that a teacher was having sex with some of his students that wanted higher grades. No one believed it to be true, because he was married and just had his 3rd baby. 100% true and all the students were proud of it. He's still in jail 5 years later. Students were proud of it. I fricked a teacher for my B+. Wait up, I'm a A-level frick here bro. An abortion using a coat hanger where a student bled to death. It happened years before I attended the school, and was the basis of the ghost sightings near the bathroom. Man, this is disturbing as hell. That there is an underground bunker from the Cold War era below the school. Not only is it there, but it turns out you can access it from the pay changing room through a secret trapdoor. Oh, finally. One that's interesting and not about sex, cheating, coming in the ranch bottle, or doing other horrible nasty shit. Did you get to go in? Any cans of peaches and whatnot? Not OP, but there was an enormous bunker under my old middle school. I got to go down there with a friend who was on yearbook. The school was closing, moved to a new building, and she was going to take pictures. It was creepy. Lots of tunnels leading to mini bunkers, all stuffed with industrial looking cans of rations, and yes, peaches. There was a whole room full of toilet paper. I took a roll as a souvenir. Also grabbed a massive container of petroleum jelly, for some reason. Guess I thought it was funny. Middle schoolers are dumb. Personally no, I'm too much of a scaredy cat, but my friends did. Apparently there isn't really anything special there, just an empty space with lots of water pipes and stuff. The only thing they found was an old chair, for some reason. Some kid in my year/grade found nude pictures of his art teacher, female, on a school camera when he went to take pictures of his painting. Didn't have a clue what to do about it, so just started telling people and no one believed him. Couple days later he's pulled out of class and had to see the school headmaster about it. They found the camera and the photos and somehow the teacher was unaware whatsoever. Thing is, the teacher didn't get any reprimands, but the kid got excluded a couple of days for spreading true rumors about the teacher. Doesn't seem fair. Yeah, was pretty ridiculous. Heard his parents got involved with it and then a couple weeks later it was as if it never happened. Safe to say he pulled out of the art class and changed course. In middle school, a rumor floated around pretty much most of the school that the principal had a consistent record of sexual assault. And what I freaking know, he got arrested for sexual assault when I was a freshman in high school. It was all over the news and everything. A younger male teacher, upper 20s, newlywed, was having sex in his classroom during lunch with an older female teacher, married in her mid-40s. A student caught them and filmed them, pretty much blackmailed them into turning themselves in. At least he was freaking a teacher and not a student. Well, that's a twist I could get behind. A student used blackmail to get the offenders to do the right thing for once. Or she had such demands that they rather turned themselves in. We had a Spanish teacher who would keep giving random financial, business advice during classes. One day he tabbed over to his stock trading homepage and accidentally revealed that he was a millionaire. Rumors about his past started circulating. Around graduation, some students found old newspaper articles confirming that he was a former meth dealer who had spent time in jail. Was a seriously cool guy, actually. That would be a good Breaking Bad spin-off. Actually, that's one sharp drug dealer. Made the money, served some time, invested the money that wasn't taken by the government, and is teaching. Two sports teachers were having an affair with each other, even though one of their spouses was also a sports teacher in the same school using the same dinky office. Rumor was confirmed when the two dudes had a fist fight in the basketball court. I feel like every pay teacher I ever had was plowing another member of staff. That the school district security guard would let you get away with anything if you gave him some coke. He later got caught and fired for it. If anyone else went there, it was at Desert View HS in Tucson edit. I was talking about cocaine, not the soda for those who didn't realize that. And on a serious note, it's all about the doctop and frick the rest. Was Pepsi okay? The principal made a peen tape with a student when he was still just a teacher and had it hidden on school property. It all came out when the vice principal tried to use it as leverage to steal his job. The principal was forced to resign. The student in the video was 18, but the vice and the rest of the administration were fired for covering it up. But was the tape actually on school property? I get the vibe he'd be stupid enough to keep it in his desk, stored in the VHS player. Nobody would search there. Okay kids, teachers out sick today. Lem pop in this Bill Knight tape real quick. Spanish teacher was a former male peen star. La puta está en la biblioteca. Puta. Donde están mis pantalones? Teacher from my high school. Girls were creeped out by him and constantly reported him for making them uncomfortable. He was quite obese, barely hung to knees, so the school and other students wrongly assumed these girls were being rude. 6 years later he's in prison after being caught with child peen on his computer, alongside upskirt photos of girls from my school. Are you from Victoria, Australia, by any chance? Because I have the exact same story as you, huh? That there was a girl in the boys' bathroom giving BJs for $10. There really was, and she got expelled. $10. Way too cheap considering the risk. She could do 10 a day every day, knowing how long teenage boys last, and probably does during lesson time, which is 100 per day, 500 per week. More if she does it out of school too, which is 24k per year. Tax free. Good money there. And it's clear she got ratted out, probably by some lad's dong she didn't suck. or someone who wanted to get in on her market and was just getting rid of the competition first. A girl blew the whole basketball team after a game. Don't know the exact details. I just know the girl left and 3 kids got expelled. What high school basketball team had only 3 players in it? They weren't about to kick out the entire freaking team. They just randomly picked 3 people? Or was this a chance to get rid of the lesser players on the team? The rumor was that a boys gym teacher and a senior girl in my class were involved. They got married when we graduated. He was at least 10 years older than she was. Still together? For over 40 years now. The origins may be shady, but a 40-year marriage is nothing to scoff at. My 6th grade math teacher was super creepy. He would assign seats randomly, but always place the girls in the front of the classroom. Did the whole lingering stare thing, and was always trying to get people to hang out with him during lunch. I never did, but he was married and has a baby, so no one really suspected him of anything other than being creepy. Fast forward about 7 years. The teacher ended up being a sex offender. He had an ongoing relationship with a girl that began when she was 13. Based on what I could see from the various news articles, she was either in my year or the year before me. The police came to arrest him in the middle of his class, cuffed him in front of his students, and then had him walk throughout campus in cuffs to get to their car. I don't feel bad for him at all, but I can't imagine how his wife and son must feel. The same exact thing happened at my school. Except he was an art teacher. What is wrong with the world? Well, the thing is, people with an unhealthy attraction to children or teens will look for jobs involving them. When do what you love is taken too seriously? Probably not the juiciest thing, but the one I remember because of how I found out. A few of our high school library's walls were weird. Sort of a lowercase b shape. So there was this empty space behind the bookshelves up against the walls. Tunnels, basically. Word was, students were freaking in there. I worked in the library. Had to move the shelves, clean the tunnels. Found used condoms. It was an all-boys school at the time, if that matters. Mind, the condoms weren't the worst thing, really. The leftover food debris in there was worse. Stuff like chicken bones. You know you've hit rock bottom when you'll give a blowy for a piece of fried chicken. Either that, or that's some awfully damned good chicken. He wasn't doing it for the money. Also, some kid said he was going to kill himself a bunch of times over getting worse grades than his little brother, and finally one day, he jumped in front of a train on the tracks right behind the school. I heard some details of what kid saw and it was about as horrifying as you'd think. Damn, how would his brother feel? That poor freaking train driver though. I don't know how is it in the US, but in Europe it's a quite common suicide style. Once a woman at a ticket booth said that my train will be 3 hours late due to suicide. I said that it's sad. She said, well, it's third one this week. So I think that drivers all keep their count. The cheerleading team was doing coke off the toilet seats. That's disgusting. Why not use the sink or the toilet paper dispenser? Surely there had to be a better surface to use than a poop smeared public toilet seat. So it's not as visible from the sink, and the toilet paper dispenser usually has an angle. If this is recent, why not just off a phone? That's what I do. There was a rumor that our female English teacher was sleeping with the starting QB, and that her youngest child was not her husband's, but the QB's. She was caught sleeping with a different one of her students years later, and it is now known she has slept with a number of former students including the QB. Now people really think her youngest kid isn't her husband's. Alex Moran? Alex would never start. It's clearly Radden. Man, I frickin' miss that show. When I was in middle school, the big joke rumor was that 2 teachers were banging. Years later everyone finds out that not only were they having an affair outside of their respective marriages, but that the male teacher was cheating on both women with a man. The female teacher moved away and ended her own life. The entire situation was unbelievably messy. The male principal got caught fricking the male history teacher in his office. Both were married. Their husbands must have been furious. Some kids made semen frosted brownies and gave them to another kid and he ate them. Whoa, you made these? Yes, I was up all night. Up all night. For 10 minutes. Holy freaking shit. There was a girl who wanted to lose her virginity, so she offered a guy a phone top up to take her virginity and he did it. So hold on. This chick was like, yo, frick me and I'll pay your phone bill for the month? Damn, where's this kinda girl when I was in school? She's probably just the kinda girl who you wouldn't want to frick. The physics teacher was sexting and sleeping with one of his students, not sure if she was 18 or not at the time. Although honestly, no one was surprised. He was a little too friendly toward the girls and changed his pants in the back of the classroom once. He ended up leaving for personal reasons over Thanksgiving break, but of course it got out. Sadly, his wife was in her 3rd trimester, which probably didn't make it any easier for her to find out her husband was sleeping with a high school student. That within the first 2 weeks of the school starting and everyone meeting each other, one of the girls had a threesome with 2 guys who didn't really get along. So she convinced them to make love, not war. I guess you can say she bridged the gap in their relationship. We had a study hall teacher who was a huge hardass with a handlebar mustache who was retired Navy. Turned out he was a hardcore gay, BDSM peen star in the early 2000s. He got fired even though it was long before his time teaching. I ended up writing a letter to the administration, county, and their attorneys, but he stayed fired. I guess it would be hard to command respect from students when googling his peen name immediately brought up a pic of his balls bound in leather. Our math teacher in high school had a student teacher she was helping train to take over for her when she went on maternity leave. The student teacher was maybe 20-21 and a fairly attractive young woman. So naturally all the guys in the class had a crush on her. One guy in particular was a super senior and 18-19. He flirted with her non-stop and she would act super embarrassed and blush and in a non-committal way tell him to knock it off. I'm sure you see where this is going. Well, towards the end of the semester he was bragging about going on a date with her and how they went to the movies, then he went back to her place and they had sex. We all thought he was full of shit. But the rumor got around the school and of course the teachers and faculty found out. Then one day she is just gone. And we had substitute teachers for the rest of the semester. We all knew what happened. Looking back, it's kind of a shame that she probably wrecked her future teaching career of him. Yeah, teachers shouldn't start that young with people they were allowed to bang a few weeks ago. A girl got caught giving her boyfriend a blowjob in one of the stairwells of my high school. The government teacher, one of the most ultra-religious and pure-hearted individuals on earth, was the one who caught them. Ended up in a science class with a girl. She gave no fricks that she got caught and took her legend status like a champ. Still makes me laugh over a decade later. That a girl hid her pregnancy then killed the baby. The music teacher in my high school was rumored to have been fired for sending dong pics to a female student. There had been subs taking his place for nearly a month. The principal said he was too ill to come into work, and eventually another rumor that he had cancer started spreading around. He had been bald longer than anyone could remember. If you asked any of the school staff what was going on, they would just say he's just sick right now. We don't know when he'll be returning. One day in my physics class, everyone in the class pestered the teacher for the whole period until he finally gave in. Some people were still trying to argue the cancer story. One student asked the physics teacher, did he send nudes to that girl? And he finally said, that thing that you think happened, it happened. The student said, so he did? And the teacher simply nodded his head yes. A month or so later the music teacher showed up in school. Everyone was running up to him in the hallway asking what happened. He dodged every question and the last thing I heard him say was, I'm just here to get some things. He didn't teach his class that day and I never saw him again. We had a running joke around my school for years. If someone asked, could you insert question here? Most people would reply, I'll do it for a bag of Doritos. This was a school-wide inside joke because a girl was caught sucking this guy's dong in the bathroom. Some authority figure had the bright idea of asking why the horny teen would allow this. She said she would do it for $3 and a bag of Doritos. No one ever saw the girl again, but the guy became a legend. You could say she jacked up her prices since then. There was a report of a woman in Tennessee who traded sex for $50 and a bag of Doritos. So I think this is actually common. A secretary walking in on the bitchy old assistant principal, Ms. Soper, giving head to the other assistant principal in his office. It was within a few days that the guy hurriedly resigned, so must have been some truth there. She was still there though, but I couldn't look at her straight after that. In this thread, people who don't know the difference between principals and principals. Neither did the administrators, apparently. Heyo. That our priest was a weirdo child molester. People who didn't know him thought he was a little strange in that he would run through town in pink speedos. Pedis in speedos. Pedis in speedos are coming down the stairs. Pedis in speedos are coming down in pairs. Pedis in speedos are chasing jobs in childcare. Cause on Tuesday mornings they'll try to molest them unawares. The married teacher and married principal got caught fricking in a park, and the elementary school teacher was really a pedophile and another teacher in the middle school. Frick. This is a fricked up town. One kid who was in my history class jacked off in a giant communal pump bottle of ranch dressing the upperclassmen all used. Was heard bragging about it in class, but nobody believed him until it got back to her teacher and they tested the dressing and lo and behold, jizz was present. Lots of scarred teenagers and lots of amused ones. How did they test for jizz? Double blind taste test. It's actually its own brand now. Hidden Vas Deferens Ranch. That one of the kids had a famous peenster for an older sister. I knew, because I was friends with him. Still am. It's still weird to see pictures of her in their house after having seen her take it in the ass on camera. So at my school the drama teacher worked closely with one history teacher who did all the tech stuff for plays, sound, lights etc. They spent a lot of time together, and both of them were married. The tech kids, my friends and I, always joked about them having an affair, and it turned into a school-wide rumor. We never really thought much about it, and that was 8th grade. My friends and I went on to high school and forgot about it for 3 years until a few months ago when we saw the history teacher at a football game. We went to ask him how he was doing, and the fricking drama teacher comes over and grabs his hand. We awkwardly said, "Oh, that was true, huh?" He replied with, "Yeah, we've been going out for 2 years." We ended the conversation after that. So the rumor wasn't true when it first started, but ended up being true. I was an outcast at my high school, and was shunned by the majority of the school. Because of this, my circle of friends included the outcasts from my school, and the outcasts from several other schools in my city. Myself and my friend Sarah from my school were good friends with a very gay guy from another school named Raphael. We were also friends with this very punk girl from the same school as Raphael named Stephanie. Stephanie was really hot, and always dressed in a very outwardly sexual way. Fishnets, schoolgirl uniform, thigh-high boots, etc. The jocks at our school thought we, Sarah and I, were freaks, and shunned us, until they saw us hanging out with Stephanie. Then every one of them wanted to have her phone number, and we were popular. Stephanie made the rounds of pretty much the entire football and baseball teams at my high school, and was known as a head queen. Everyone wanted to go on a date with her, and most did. Stephanie and Raphael are the same person. That plot twist though. Not my school, but the one in the next town over. A couple fingered each other's assholes, did not wash their hands, and made a batch of cookies for the yearbook club. So a bunch of pool teens ate shit cookies back in 2012 and still have no idea. So, this is a confession then? Juiciest? Christ, I don't know. Here's some random ones though. Some dude kept jerking off in the bathroom stalls. No big deal. Problem is he'd finish by coating the toilet dispenser with his handmade batter. A rule got put in place that specifically disallowed people from bringing food into the bathrooms. People kept making hot dog boats and clogging up the toilets with them. Principal and VP were banging in the office. Soccer coach was banging athletes. I'm fairly certain I have seen a couple of students discreetly banging in the cafeteria. One of my best friends fell on a rocking chair. The pointy bit that lets it rock back and forth. It went up his butt. He was in the hospital for a while. And I'll leave the, probably, best for last. Spatula girl. She was a bit of an attention whore, even going out of her way to fake fainting spells. One day she decided to fap with the handle of a spatula, record it, and send it out to every dude she had the number to. Cops got involved and a couple of those dudes went to juvie for possession of child pornography. As far as I know, action was not taken against her. Later in the year the school's rival had a glow stick girl, who, you guessed it, did the same thing with glow sticks. Last football game of the season the rival school showed up with a bunch of spatulas and my school showed up with a bunch of glow sticks. High school is weird. This is also not even everything that happened, just most of the sexual type stuff. A girl let some players of the lacrosse team frick her with a lacrosse stick. Pole stick I'm Heil Mayo. But which end? Guess she can lacrosse that one off the bucket list. Heard one dude was sucking another dude's dong in the bathroom between classes. Thought it was a load of bull, since one of them had a girlfriend and everything. One day a friend showed me a video of them actually doing it in the stall. Blew my mind. Turns out the guy getting his dong sucked wasn't even secretly gay or anything. Just liked getting his dong sucked by his classmate, but the guy sucking was definitely gay. We had two girls in our class that played a game to seduce a teacher. They did the usual staying after class to get him alone, wore inappropriate clothes that showed too much skin, touched him a lot, sat in his lap, laughed obnoxiously at any joke he made, etc. Girl A told girl B she was tired of playing the game after about a month, so she wanted to stop and they seemingly did. But girl A was actually sleeping with the guy since like the second week. Girl A told girl B about the situation and not knowing what to do girl B told her mom. When the time came around for the teacher to be confronted girl A killed herself so that the teacher wouldn't be charged. The mother felt so bad she that didn't tell the school what was going on the minute she found out, so she felt responsible for the girl's death. The teacher was removed directly after the full story came out. He ended up running off so he was never formally charged. That's some fricked up shit. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos every day.